Hey, what's up, guys? This is Passion for Truth, and this is my Flat Earth Journey video. How I got here to where I'm at today, creating a Flat Earth YouTube channel. You know, if you would have asked me or told me that I'd be making a YouTube channel about Flat Earth 10 years ago, I would have thought that was the most ridiculous thing ever, and I would have laughed in your face. But I'll say that I think my journey probably started back in 2015 to 2016 timeframe. Back in 2015, I was a network/online marketer. So I actually had another YouTube channel that was up for quite some time, based around my network marketing and online marketing companies that I was affiliated with. And so the reason I'm telling you this is because of the network of people that I had on my Facebook page. You got to keep in mind, you know, as a network marketer/online marketer, you have friends from all over on Facebook. And it was in 2000, it might have been late 2015, early 2016. I first started seeing the Flat Earth discussions start popping up on my Facebook newsfeed. And the first time I saw it, I just thought, Flat Earth, is that really like a thing? Is that like a cult that people are, you know, joining and stuff like that? And just kind of laughed it off, of course, the first time that I saw it, you know, because it's just, you know, the first time anybody sees it, we all laugh at it and we just kind of shrug it off and say, oh, maybe somebody's just trolling on Facebook and they're just making a joke and they're not really serious. But then in 2000, like later on in 2016, I started seeing some growth in the Flat Earth movement, so to speak. And so more and more people were talking about this topic, to a point where I started to get a little bit curious as to what was going on and why people were talking about this stuff. Because obviously, you know, this is 2016 and we've known the Earth as a ball for 2,000 years. Copernicus, sticks and shadows, Eratosthenes, and all that good stuff, right? So I remember one time engaging in a conversation with somebody, and I remember kind of poking fun at them once, right? My exact words to that person were, flat earthers are unfit for humanity. I don't know where this argument is coming from, but it's stupid, basically. In a nutshell, that's what I told this one person. I wish to God that today, like, I knew who that person was. I can't even remember who that person was. They're probably still on my Facebook page, so maybe they'll see this video and they'll remember that, you know, the words that I said, and they'll reach out to me, and I can apologize to that person, of course. But nonetheless, like, so just like everybody else, I was making fun of Flat Earth. Thought it was the dumbest thing ever. And what I really want to kind of, the reason why I'm making this video is that I hope that somebody will relate to this story and kind of where I was at in my life when this started happening. I was an entrepreneur, of course, you know, into the whole network marketing thing. And I was married at the time, and we were going through some struggles, right? Now, being an entrepreneur is a roller coaster ride. If any of you out there can relate to this, maybe you're a business owner, you can relate to this. Like, my ex-wife and I had gone through some tough times. We'd had some minor successes working from home, but for the most part, we struggled financially. And I'm not going to get into, like, my, you know, all the details of, you know, kind of what was happening, but just know that it brought me to a point of kind of, maybe a lot of people would say, depression. You know, whether or not I was really depressed, I really can't tell you. But it was some stressful times. I'll just say that. It was some stressful times that we were going through. And so I come from a Christian background, come from going to church every Sunday for probably 7 years up to this point. So I'm a man of faith, and I started praying to God and asking God for truth. Truth. That was what I was always praying for. God, reveal truth to me. There's something missing in my life. I don't know what you want me to do. I've done all the things that I thought that you were putting on my heart to do, but nothing has taken off, and I've been nothing but a failure up to this point. So God, please reveal to me what you want me to do. Show me some truth here. So that was my prayer prior to actually taking the time to look into the flat earth topic. I was an Uber driver at the time, struggling financially, like looking for a job. I'd walked away from a couple jobs that I absolutely hated. So very stressful times, guys. Very stressful times I was going to. And I made that prayer. And so, to kind of make a long story short, after laughing at the topic for about a year and a half probably, and just seeing these people talk about it on Facebook, I somehow stumbled upon a channel called Jaronism, Jaron Campanella. A lot of you watching this video know Jaron and have listened to probably hundreds of his videos by now. Maybe you've never heard of him. Great channel, guys. If you don't know who that is, subscribe to his channel, because he doesn't just talk about flat earth. He was when I found him, I was looking into the whole evolution thing again. I'd kind of gone back to looking into evolution, like the Big Bang and stuff like that, and soul searching. Guys, I was soul searching. Some people might call it a midlife crisis. And that's just where I was at. And I started listening to Jaron. Don't even know how I found him, to be completely honest, other than I was on YouTube looking at evolution debates and stuff like that. And he just so happened to pop up. And so I listened to Jaron for probably a couple of months, 2 or 3 months. And I had no idea that Jaron was a flat earther. He had not mentioned that in any of these earlier videos that I was watching. So I had no clue. But then one day, YouTube back then was still feeding you videos, comparable videos. Like if you started watching somebody's channel, they would continue to feed you that person's videos. So one day, I stumbled into a video where Jaron started talking about flat earth. And then I found out that he was a flat earther, and he was outspoken about it. And that just kind of like baffled me, because I'd been listening to this guy for 2 or 3 months, and I really loved his videos. I thought that he was a very open-minded person, first and foremost, and just somebody who came into everything with no bias, like critical thinking skills. Jaron has incredible critical thinking skills. He thinks about everything rationally. He doesn't let his emotions get to the best of him. He's not a religious person. So that just kind of like spoke to me, and I really respected that and appreciated that in his videos. So when I found out that he was a flat earther, I was like, what in the world? I was like, now I can't listen to anything this guy says anymore. Like it had totally, like, he lost all credit, right? He lost all credit with me, and I just didn't want to listen to any more of his videos. I was really frustrated. I was like, man, I've been listening to this guy for months, and he's a flat earther? You gotta be kidding me. But the seed was planted, right? So to speak, the seed was planted, and my curiosity started to get the best of me. Because what I was thinking was, Jaron's a really smart dude. And some of these other flat earthers that I know that were on my Facebook page were really smart too. They weren't uneducated. I could tell, I could scroll through their material, and I could see that they were educated people. So in my mind, I was like, what is it that these people are falling for? What is it that it's attracting? What about this flat earth thing is attracting these seem to be intelligent people, right? So that's how I got started down a rabbit hole. And I don't know the exact video that I saw to begin with. I don't know the very first video I saw. It may have been Eric Dubay's 200 proofs. Other than the Jaron video, of course. And I don't even remember what Jaron was talking about in that video. I don't even know which video it was, but I blame I blame my flat earth awakening on Jaron, because that's where it all started. So Jaron, if you're watching this video, man, you ruined my life, buddy. And you kind of owe me for that. I'm just kidding, but anyways, but yeah, so it might have been Eric Dubay's 200 proofs. And then I got into, of course, Mark Sargent's Flat Earth Clues back then. And I know I watched an Aaron Nesbitt video, and I think after watching that Aaron Nesbitt video, I don't know why it was Aaron Nesbitt, or Darren Nesbitt, I'm sorry. I think his name is Darren Nesbitt. Yeah, something like that. I don't know what it was about his video, but it was kind of the eye-opening video for me, from my recollection. This is just what I remember. I could be wrong about which video it was that actually like sparked something in me to keep looking. But I think after that video, I was saying to myself, wow, flat earthers aren't stupid. They make some very interesting points. And I've got to look further into this, because this is intriguing. So in other words, what I'm telling you is, although I'd made fun of flat earthers like early on in 2015, 2016, I was never like, I wasn't a troll. I didn't go like looking to fight flat earthers and debate flat earthers. I didn't come into it really kicking and screaming, because like I said, I was at a point in my life where I was soul searching. I knew that there was something wrong. I knew that there was something missing in my life, something that didn't make sense. And I even remember back in grade school when I was first taught that we lived on a spinning ball. I remember thinking, this doesn't make sense. How do we live on something that's spinning 1,000 miles an hour? And I just thought as a kid, like, what if, they're saying I live on a basketball that's spinning. And I remember thinking that. And of course, after many years of indoctrination in the indoctrination camps known as public school, that kind of goes away for a while, and you just kind of get comfortable with the idea that you live on this spinning, wobbling, tilting ball that's traveling through an infinite vacuum. You get used to that. And it's almost like the old saying goes, if you tell yourself a lie enough times, you believe it after a while. And that's kind of what happens to everybody. But that's kind of how I felt my whole life, like something was missing. So after it only took a few videos of me actually diving into this, where I was like, this is kind of making some sense. I've got to dive deeper into this stuff. And I've got to get the answers to these questions. And like I said, I was a Christian. You'd have thought that the first place that I would have went for question or for these answers was the Bible. But I didn't. I didn't go to the Bible first, because I don't really operate that way. For me, I'm a skeptic by nature. I've always been skeptical about stuff. So, I've always questioned things. So I couldn't use the Bible as a reference. I had to go out and I had to observe, and I had to dig deep. I had to do my own research. And so after a few videos, I was like, well, I mean, if the earth is flat, what about NASA? What about, going to the moon and stuff like that? And so I really started diving into the moon landing hoax. And anybody watching this video, I'm pretty sure the majority of people watching this video have already done that, right? You've already come to the conclusion that there's no way we went to the moon. It doesn't take much research to figure that one out. I mean, you got astronauts that admit it. You know what I mean? Several astronauts that admit either the Earth is flat or we never been to space or we never went to the moon, right? The information's out there. It doesn't take much to come to that conclusion. So that was where I started. And then from there, I was like, well, what does the Bible have to say about it? Because of course, I'm a Christian. I had to look into that, And I remember early on, when I saw these flat earthers on Facebook talking about the Bible being a flat earth book, I used to laugh at that too and thought that was the most ridiculous thing. There's no way the Bible says that the earth is flat. Because, Job 40:22, right? Job 40:22. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Isaiah 40:22. Isaiah 40:22. Circle of the earth, right? That was the one verse that you would cling to as a Christian. How ignorant is that now, right? When you realize that the Bible is a flat earth book from cover to cover. And when I started diving into that, that just really blew my socks off. I was like, how could I have lived? How could I be like almost 40 years old here? And I haven't heard this before. I hadn't heard this before. And it was hitting me so hard that, like, obviously it was taking a toll on my then marriage, because I'm divorced now. And long story short, a lot of this had to do with my divorcing of my wife, my ex-wife, because it was, to be completely transparent with you, this was grabbing a hold of me really hard, and it became an obsession of mine. And I'm man enough to admit that, like, yeah, I was obsessed with this because it rocked my world, and to a point where it was detrimental to my marriage. And I know that's kind of like, a sad thing, but life goes on. Happy man now in a good relationship, so things work out. But it was tough times. So it wasn't easy coming to this. It wasn't something that I wanted to happen, obviously, especially when you have kids, you don't want this to happen. So this is not something that I just woke up one day and, wanted to do and be. I didn't see myself here. So although the truth came quite easily to me, it still was a hard thing to come through, if that makes sense. But like I said, today is a better day, obviously. I've moved on from that. And now here I am, 5 years into this, creating a YouTube channel talking about flat earth and how everything we've been taught is a complete lie. And I have actually brought this to the attention of pastors of mine, because when I came to the truth that, the Bible's a flat earth book from cover to cover, I went to a couple pastor friends of mine and I told them about it. I said, this is where I'm at in my life, man. Can you help me out here? Can you talk me out of this? Can you figure this out with me here? And here's the deal, man. I had one pastor tell me, a really good friend of mine, obviously, I went to his church for 7 years. And his exact words to me after I gave him my little spiel were, if what you're telling me is true, then it makes the Bible make a whole lot more sense. And I looked at him and I said, yeah. Yeah, it does. In fact, if you read the book with a flat earth understanding, everything makes sense. It brings everything together. And this is like what I feel now is my mission, right? Now is my mission is to open Christians' eyes to the fact that they don't live on a spinning ball, and the Bible is not a heliocentric book. It, in fact, is a geocentric book. It is a flat earth book from cover to cover. And I think that is where God was was trying to lead me, and I feel in my heart of hearts that this is what he's called me to do. He's called me to share this truth with everybody, to open Christians' eyes to what the scriptures actually say. Because once you wipe the slate clean and you get rid of everything that you were ever taught, get rid of all your bias, you open your mind and you open the scriptures up and read it from that standpoint, starting in Genesis with the firmament and God's 6 days of creation and the order in which he created certain things. Like, for instance, he created the earth before he created the sun. So how, what was the earth rotating around or revolving around before the sun came into play? And start there with a firmament dome above us that separates the waters from the waters. It starts in Genesis, and literally every book from that point, there's some kind of reference to the fact that we live on a stationary, motionless, flat plane, or terrarium, if you will. Snow globe is really the depiction that you get when you actually take the scriptures at face value. So this is where I'm at today. This is where I feel God has led me from that moment that I prayed for truth. This is what I feel like my mission has become. So you can't stop somebody who is on a mission for the Creator. So with that, this is Passion for Truth. Until next time, I'll see you guys on the next video. Hopefully this story resonates with you. And what I would like for you to do is, if you feel like it, drop some comments on this video and kind of let me know like how you got into flat Earth. What was your flat Earth journey? Or who were some of your greatest influences into the flat Earth community? With that, I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care. God bless.